I'm joined by Kyle Balgamase. Welcome, Kyle.
How are you?
Raja Suleiman with Orzov.
Max McVitie.
Congratulations, Brian DeMars.
Zach Allen. I wouldn't be here without these guys, though. So.
And the champion of Proto Counter-Attack here, Ari Lax.
All right, welcome everybody to Making Magic Happen, brought to you by RAW Hobbies and Games in Livonia, Michigan. I am Zach. I had somebody mention this, so I'm going to say it, even though I feel like a lot of people watching will already know, but just so people that don't know, I am the number one player on the SCG Tour at the moment. It's kind of been weird because I was the number one player when quarantine hit, and so I've just been frozen in this number one spot purgatory where I have qualified for the Players' Championship, and I played the Players' Championship last year, so I am a qualified Magic player, I guess you could say. I do know what I'm doing. So now that that's out of the way, I would like to say, if you've been watching the channel at all, you've seen I love Goblins. I was playing a less combo-y version before, more of a disruption version with very much, I had Thoughtseize in the main, more kill spells, a lot less focused on combo. But subscriber to the channel, Eli Baychan, brought this list to my attention, a Grumgully version that has more combos involved. So the combo before, which you probably are familiar with, was Conspicuous Snoop and Bogart Harbinger. And you'd use Conspicuous Snoop to, it has all activated abilities of Goblins on top of your library. So you'd have that in play, then you'd cast a Harbinger, put Kiki Jiki on top of your library, then Snoop could copy itself infinity times, and then the last copy would copy Harbinger again. That Harbinger enters the battlefield, then you put Sling-Gang on top of your library, and you can drain your opponent out for as much life as they have. So that combo is still in this deck, but now we're going a little further. So now we have Grumgully, which says each other non-human creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Grumgully is a goblin, and we're playing Persist Goblin. So the way Persist works is, I have a 2-mana 2/2 here in Putrid Goblin. And when I sacrifice it, or it dies, it'll go to the graveyard, and then we'll come back as a 1/1, but it's a 2/2 with a -1/-1 counter on it. So if I can put a +1/+1 counter on it, it will just be a 2/2 again, and we'll be able to keep coming back from the battlefield. So you kind of need a static way to do it. That's Grumgully. So if I have Grumgully and a Persist creature in play, I can essentially sacrifice Putrid Goblin as many times as I want. If I'm sacrificing it to Sling-Gang, that's just lethal, right? I can just, even if I have like a Sling-Gang on top of my library and a Snoop in play, I can use Snoop to sacrifice it, I can use Sling-Gang to sacrifice it, I'll drain them out. If I don't have that, I have a Murderous Redcap, which is another 2/2 with Persist, but this one is going to deal damage to them every time it enters the battlefield, so I can, if I have Grumgully, Murderous Redcap, in any sacrifice outlet, whether it be Sling-Gang Lieutenant or Skirk Prospector, I'll just be able to just dome my opponent as many times as I need to and deal lethal damage. If I have Putrid Goblin and Grumgully, though, I need a sack out. So I said Sling-Gang. I can also do it with Skirk Prospector. The other piece to this combo is Pashalik Mons that deals a damage to any target anytime a goblin I control dies, or a creature. No, it has to be a goblin. So anytime a goblin dies, which is in this case Putrid Goblin. So yeah, I'll just keep sacrificing Putrid Goblin to Skirk Prospector. I can actually make infinite mana that way, and then just deal lethal damage with Pashalik Mons. So basically what this is I have a lot of really medium bodies, a little bit of disruption, just the tiniest bit in Munitions Expert, which can kill some stuff, and then Goblin Matron to find all of the pieces and kind of be the glue there, and Ringleader kind of doing the same thing where it just lets me amass this board of bodies. And I'm just trying to assemble one of the many 2-card combos, 2 or even 3-card combos in the deck. And when even when you can't do that, I have some relevant disruption in the sideboard for matchups for that matters, in like Thoughtseize, Chalice of Wood, and Relic of Progenitus. And then past all of that, I just have Bad Creature Beatdown, which, not plan A, not even plan B, but definitely a fine plan C. And it does come up. I have won a number of games by just attacking for lethal. So we're going to see how this goes. But remember, before we get into this, I would also like to say We're doing a giveaway on the channel right now. Giving away a lot of sweet stuff. We got a foil Atraxa. We're giving away a Mox Opal, a Sword of Body and Mind, a Box Topper Lightning Greaves, some other commander cards, Kalia Brea. If you just subscribe to the channel, you're welcome. You get entered into the drawing for those cards. If you are subscribed to the channel and you also retweet the tweet, you get 2 entries. I'm not going to give people who retweet but don't subscribe a chance at drawing. You have to be subscribed, so just full warning. So if you want a chance at winning those cards, remember to click that subscribe button. You'll have a shot. And, you know, if you don't want to participate in any of that, that's all fine too. But we would still love it for you to subscribe. It helps us grow the channel. And just even likes on the video, all that helps. So, you know, with that, we're going to get into some games, see how this goes. But, you know, thanks everybody for joining us. And, yeah, let's see how this goes. We're here for game 1 of Jund Gabos. I've got, yeah, definitely a keep. I'm on the play here. I am going to lead with a Stomping Ground and cast my Aether Vial. Yep, definitely going to pay 2 life. Still missing some pieces, but we got a Vial. Hard to mulligan a hand with a Vial and a Curve. So, like where this is starting. Ooh, Black Leaf Cliffs from the opponent. A little scared this is Jund. Our deck still doesn't want to play against Jund. And an Inquisition. Well, our hand's kind of bad, so it's we got our Vial in place, so resilient to an Inquisition. That's good. It's a good start. That is always a good start. Goodbye, Putrid Goblin. Alright, so Prospector, not looking too hot against Jund. It'll die to a Renin 6, which is pretty unfortunate. Pashlik Mons is a pretty good one, though. Alright, I'm just going to get my lands in a play tapped. I can cast stuff, but I'm not under any sort of rush here. And I'd rather be able to get all of my stuff in play and be able to use Pashlik Mons' ability to just keep getting value out of them while Jund is killing my creatures. If that makes sense. I am going to put the Skirk Prospector in play, though. I think that's fine. I assume this is going to get bolted or pushed, but it's alright. Use Aether Vial's ability. Alright. My Goblin lived. Okay, well, I'm going to attack. Again, I'm not putting Pashlik Mons in until I can sacrifice it for value. Like, I want to be able to activate the ability, I guess. I think it's going to be important against Jund to just make sure... Yeah, just make sure I can activate the ability. I'm still expecting a Planeswalker here. Maybe like a Renin 6. No, it's just a Tarmogoyf. Okay. Tarmogoyf is definitely beatable. It's actually not something I'm concerned about when I have Pashlik Mons going for sure. Alright, we're going to take up to 3, and alright. Don't really want that, but that's fine. Would like to draw any of my creatures that do anything. A Snoop would be sick. A Matron would be sick. Yeah. A lot of good draws here. We haven't really seen any of them yet, but we are in a spot where, you know, our life total's not really in jeopardy. Okay. See, this is what I was waiting for. This is a good spot for us. I get to fetch up. I guess I have enough red now that I'd rather get the Swamp. Kind of a small thing, but not a big deal. I get to put Pashlik Mons in and sacrifice the Prospector for value, which is exactly how we wanted to play this. We've created an infinite stream of goblins. Nope. Sacrifice this one. Ooh, ping you. Send a message. And now we can, we're actually, like, kind of going infinite. I mean, we're not, but I can start sacrificing the goblins with Pashlik Mons here. Start going to town. I love it. I think I can take 4. I think I can take 4 here. I think that's fine. There's no reason to chump. I'd rather just get damage in, honestly. I think this is a good spot to try and get some damage going. Always yield, please. I will go up to 4. Alright, we drew a Putrid Goblin. That's not the best, but it's fine. I would like to use my mana to sack on this turn and kind of just start pressuring the opponent. They're in a pretty tough spot. I could play like Putrid Goblin and Skirk Prospector, and then I can sack stuff to make mana with Prospector to sack like in response to a removal spell. I just don't think any of that's necessary. I want to force them to answer Pashalik Mons before I go too crazy. And when they do answer Pashalik Mons, because it's Jund, they're going to be able to do that at some point, then we can start emptying our hand again. But while I have the mana sink, I'm going to use it. This is a Liliana of the Veil. That doesn't do very much, if we're being honest. I guess they can plus. I will discard the Skirk Prospector very quickly. Very quickly indeed. Yeah, Putrid Goblin's still going to be better against Jund. It's just like the actual value body. They discarded a Renin 6? What? Why? Alright, don't really... I guess they wanted to pump their Goyf, but I don't really get that. I am going to just take this opportunity to kill Liliana. I'm going to do 2 damage to it. So I can sacrifice one of these goblins to make 2 more goblins. This doesn't actually kill Liliana, but it puts it in a spot where I don't really care if it's plussing. Like, Liliana plussings, whatever. It's not a big deal. The thing, you know, when it's sacrificing, it matters more against goblins, but obviously my draw has been really resilient to a sacrifice, so basically I just don't care about Liliana, I think is where we're at. You don't go past 4 in this deck. Okay. Question is, do I want to take the shield down for a turn? I don't think I do. I am just going to attack everything at opponent. So what's going to happen here is they will presumably block my Murderous Redcap. I get to sack it to Pashalik Mons to make 2 more goblins. The sack damage from Mons will deal 1 to Liliana and kill it. Yep. So this is fine. Sack the Redcap. I guess it doesn't really matter where the 1 goes, but we're going to get Liliana off the table. I could just deal the damage to them. That would be fine. But yeah, I don't really think it matters. Opponent is going to need like a main deck Plague Engineer to really come back from this. We've just generated way too much value. We just have too many 1/1s in play. I do feel like this deck would benefit from having a Chieftain. Like, look at this. We've just gone extremely wide. Just having the ability to have 1 Chieftain I could tutor for seems really good. I could see a build of this deck. Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay. It doesn't get them back in the game necessarily, but that's a good start for them. They at least start matching with our board. I mean, they had to discard some really good spells there, so you know, I don't think it matters all that much. This is tough because when they block, their things just all deal damage. Yeah, they are in. Opponent is in a rough spot, and now we're in a spot where basically every draw is good for us. Any creature's a good draw. Any land's a good draw because I can play Putrid Goblin and leave up sack. Yeah. Nope. We're not going to tick up. Eighth of Isle was not a good draw, I guess. That was the 1 bad draw on the deck. So way to show us which draw was bad, deck. Appreciate it. But I'm just going to keep... Like, they just haven't... I'm actually shocked they haven't answered Pashalik Mons yet. They discarded the Kolaghan's Command. It seems to me the obvious play last turn was, instead of playing this, shatter my Vial, kill Pashalik Mons, and it kind of puts a damper on a lot of what I'm doing. Although I guess maybe if they have another K command, this play makes a little more sense. I don't know. Interesting. Interesting to say the least. Alright, a Renin 6. That doesn't really do it. I don't know. Gonna kill my Redcap. Well, I'm gonna sack in response. And we're just gonna keep the damage train a-rolling. I think at this... I'm gonna start killing their elementals. I want to have attacks next turn. I think that's a better place to go. I just have so many goblins in play. No, I was supposed to deal damage. Well, I guess it is better to deal because they would have traded with one of my guys, so I'd rather... Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it's fine. Okay, so... This vial I would like to put a counter on. This one I would not like to. We got our Harbinger. What does Harbinger get us? Harbinger's fine. It's a fine draw, but I don't think it's enough to make me want to take down the sack. Like, opponent just hasn't proven they can beat this. Although, getting a ringleader here would be quite strong. So I do think there's some merit to just playing both of these, getting my hand empty. But what happens if I attack with all 7 of these? Opponent takes 4. The 3 things they block... Actually, it's lethal if I just attack all, right? Yeah. Alright. Attack you, attack you, attack you, attack you, attack you, attack you, attack you. This would be not lethal if they had a kill spell for Patriotic Mons, but... I think I'm in a spot where I just want to be forcing through damage here. Opponent's getting really low. They're not even going to be able to use this fetch, so they just like need to have exactly a bolt. Yeah. So I think they're going to 2 here. So it's not lethal, but like it is for all intents and purposes. Yeah. So deal damage to you, deal damage to you, deal damage to you. Nice. They should have done this before they did this. Alright, well, that would have actually been a blowout if they had done this before this. They did not, though. Still, they're at 1 now. And I have 6 1-1s in play. Yeah, they actually had the thing they needed there and then just kind of misplayed. So, a little bit fortunate for us, but you'll take it. You will take it. Whenever opponent kind of punts, and we actually had a combo lined up there, so I mean you'll take those. Yeah, whenever opponent wants to give you a game like that, I mean you take them, definitely take them. So we saw Ren and 6, Tarmogoyf, Seasoned Pyromancer. I think Relic's great here. I'm definitely gonna bring in Relic. I don't like Skirk Prospector against a Ren and 6 deck. One of the things I really like about this build is how resilient it is to Ren and 6. So I'm definitely gonna go that direction. I don't like Tarfire or Warren Weirding. I do want the munitions expert, though, so I do think I'm going to cut another Harbinger. I think we have enough combo pieces here that I don't have to be all in on the Snoop combo, but I like just still having access to it. Alright, we got another Aether Vial draw. Got a good curve lined up here. Yeah, I think this is an easy keep. Even if they Thoughtseize us on turn 1, we still have a Vial. Yep, perfect. So now they probably are taking Matron because the rest of the hand is just so redundant that it doesn't really hurt us to take the Vial or a Goblin. And losing Matron's a big deal for this hand. You definitely wanted that to be able to go look for a Ringleader and just kind of get the value train rolling, if you will. But not the end of the world. They took the Vial. Interesting. So that makes me think that there's maybe an Abrupt Decay or a Kolaghan's Command in my future, which is unfortunate, but fine. You know, something I can deal with for sure. Yeah, I mean, if that is the case, like if they decay this or maybe have like a Ancient Grudge, something that'll take care of this next turn, that would be pretty bad for me. Even a K command, like before I get to use it, would be pretty bad. Okay, this Thoughtseize here though is not particularly scary. I guess now you're taking the Matron. Maybe that's why they didn't take it last turn, because they just knew they had a second one lined up, and then maybe that means there's not an artifact kill spell coming here. I still think though that you would go a different route. Interesting. Definitely interesting. Okay, so I'm always going to yield to this. Always yield. I don't want to always yes, because I do want to stop when I get to 4. But I would like to yes in this scenario. Alright, so I could fetch Swamp here and save my life total, but I don't think my life total is relevant enough given the state of... Like, if they had played a Tarmogoyf last turn, I do think I would just show them, hey, I drew Bloodstained Mire for turn, I'm going to get a Swamp and just preserve life total. Given that they have no board pressure yet, I think it's better to just deny information, especially given that they Thoughtseize. So this is the one card, like the one piece of information opponent doesn't have. I think I'd rather leave some amount of mystery. I'm still going to play my card, but I think I'm willing to pay 2 life there to leave in a little bit of mystery in my opponent. Make him play around some stuff. It's not a big thing, but I think that's big enough. It's worth doing. We'll see. Now I would not be shocked here. No, I was gonna say I would not be shocked here if there was a K command this turn, but opponent just doesn't have anything interesting. This was supposed to be yielded to. Darn you, Vile. Would I like to use its ability? I would. Oh, Matron's a fantastic draw there. Love that. So what do I want to do? I could get Ringleader. Ringleader is a really good draw. I think I start by attacking. I'm definitely casting Matron here. That's happening. The choices are essentially between Ringleader and Snoop. I think those are the only two. Terminate my Persist 2/2. Yeah, that's not great for the opponent. I could also get Grumgully. This is the full combo. I have the Persist creature, the Sack Outlet, and Grumgully. That's not terrible. Why don't we do that? Why don't we get Grumgully? Put the clamps on him. Hit him with the clamps. I would like to pay the life. Yes, please. Yes, please. Sure. The other thing that's nice about Grumgully is there's definitely a world where this is worse than just getting a Ringleader and just kind of going to Value Town. But the thing that's nice about Grumgully is it's just a fine card anyway. Like, it just makes my creatures a little bigger. And if I'm going to go Grumgully into Sling-Gang, it's really strong. But I'm also setting up to where if I draw land, I just have a kill this turn. So that's good. And I also can just, like, you know, if this gets killed here, if they do have the K command, then I can just cast the Grumgully. So I think all that's fine. Plague Engineer. That's not great. That may enters the battlefield with an... Okay, so Grumgully is actually kind of a way to beat this. My whole board's about to die, which ain't it. Definitely not it. Yeah, this card is really good against me. But getting Grumgully was kind of the best way we had to play around it, so that is good. I can actually put Putrid Goblin into play because it doesn't die, so that's nice. And I do have a kill here if I draw land. So that is all... Yeah, if I draw land, opponent is dead. Snoop. Well, that's not horrible. I think I cast it. I may as well. Oh, no. I should have Viled in Grumgully first. Well, that's bad. Okay, now we have another Persist creature on top of the library. So, now I can do the end of turn. Yeah, I can't quite play it because it costs 1 more. It would be nice to play that. Now I can do the end of turn, put Grumgully in play, untap Violin Sling-Gang, and just have lethal. So, my combo is now immune to sorcery speed removal, which is good. A second Plague Engineer would really wreck my day. Okay. Tarmogoyf, though, not going to do it for the opponent. So now they are basically on have exactly Bolt or they lose, which is good for me. They do have Bolt. That's bad, certainly. But otherwise, I have them. Do we have a Bolt? No. Doesn't look like opponent has it yet. Okay, so I can cast this one off the top of my library, which is pretty nice. So I could like go to end step. I think I'm supposed to just activate. If they have the Bolt, they have it. But I don't think they do. I think they would have killed Grumgully in my end step. Yeah, okay. They just didn't have it. And that is how they say that. Alright, let's sacrifice... Choose target player them. I'm going to sacrifice this. Always yield. Always yield. Yep. And I don't think opponent realizes yet, but they are in fact dead. Okay. This combo definitely... Yeah, definitely looking good. And opponent now realizes it. GG's. Maybe I got some percentage there from opponent not being super familiar with this deck. It is a newer version of it, so that does make some sense to me. Alright, opponent says GLHF. We have lost the die roll, but we have the classic Trey Aether Vial hand. Well, Snoop doesn't work that great with one land. I would love for if I would snap keep if any of these were a second land. That said, I still think this hand is a keep. I'm on the draw. You just want a hand with Vial in it so bad that you'll keep wonky hands like this. And I think the hand is good enough. Man, Bloodstained Mire all over Modern right now. Here we go. Blood Crypt. This could be a Gobbo Mirror. No, Soulscar Mage. Black-Red Prowess. Alright, this is going to be tough. I'd like to choose Goblin. I'm going to put an Aether Vial in play. Yeah, this is going to be hard. This hand is quite slow. I am just wholly reliant on Vial. Opponent could certainly have just a fast draw here that just kills me on turn 3 before I really do anything. If opponent's draw is slower, I definitely have a shot. But if it's a fast one, I'm just going to die. I kept a hand that's pretty slow. That said, one Soulscar Mage isn't really going to cut it. We'll see, though. We'll see where I get here. Kiln Fiend. That's terrifying. Would love to draw a land here. Absolutely love it. Yep. Always yield. And I would like land. No, 4-drop. That's basically a land. Kind of plays just like one, I guess. This is me getting turn 3 on the draw, where I kept a hand that didn't interact. And honestly, that is kind of the problem with this combo deck. Is that, yeah, and Morphos is just a disaster for us. I mean, that's a cantrip that deals 4 damage to me and costs 0 mana, essentially. That's not good. That is not good for the home team. Into Thoughtseize. Okay, so I'm taking 10 on board. That's not good. It's not where you want to be, generally. Taking 10. And yeah, a bolt. A bolt, I guess, doesn't kill us. A Lava Dart would. I would imagine we are just way dead. Like, yeah, okay, Lava Dart actually kills us. So we got turn 3'd. We kept kind of a slow hand, and it got very quickly turn 3'd. So that's unfortunate for sure. Oh, opponent really wanted to show... say they still had all Ds. Alright, noted, opponent. Noted. So, yeah. I do like Warren Weirding against them. I like my Munitions Expert. And Brutality's okay. I think Harbinger is awful. And Prospector is just really bad. These cards that die to Lava Dart are just... they're just too bad. I can leave Skirk Prospector in when I bring in Vial. That is totally something I can do. But also it's like the card is just bad in the matchup anyway, so like that dyssynergy I think is enough to make me want to cut it. Chalice goes on 1 in this matchup. It's going on 1. I'm putting it on 1, I'm leaving it on 1. The deck I'm playing against has more like 2 mana spells, 0 mana spells than a lot of the normal prowess lists you see, so there's an argument to put on other numbers, but the thing I care about turning off is Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart, Burst Lightning, those cards, so this is going on 1. The second one I would probably put on 2. I think the second one I would put on 2 if I got there, but realistically I just want to put 1 on 1, and yeah, I mean that's just the deal. Kiln Fiend I think is a really bad card in Modern in general. There's a lot of decks that just can look at it and say, yeah, whatever. It is really good against a combo Goblins deck, though, that isn't playing very much removal, doesn't have a Thoughtseize to kind of take it out of their hand ahead of time, just all of that. Kiln Fiend on the play was a disaster. I mean, tough. I can attack for 14, but I also just didn't have a blocker, which I'm not super likely to have. But, yeah. My opponent is really thinking through their sideboarding here. I do think there's an argument to bring in Relic against Mono Red. We saw Cling to Dust. They have Luris in all likelihood. We saw Bobble. Sorry, a little unsure of boarding, says opponent. Well, don't board out your lava darts. I will give you that information. You don't want to cut lava darts against goblins. Well, this build is better against lava dart than the build I was playing. Huh. And we have a hand with some 2-drops and a Chalice of the Void. I think this is a keep all day, every day. And I'm definitely going to lead on Bloodstained Mire. I'm not going to respect Blood Moon. I could get Swamp here. That would be a fine play, but there's no way I'm respecting Blood Moon out of this deck. I'm just not going to do that. I am instead going to get a Stomping Ground just to make sure I have green mana. And then I got my black mana all wrapped up already, so that's good. I'm going to reveal a Putrid Goblin, and then we're going to put Chalice of the Void on 1 and see how opponent feels about that. I would imagine they're not going to be super happy, but they might have an Abrade in their hand, so we'll see. But yeah, I would imagine Prowess opponent not super thrilled about a Chalice of the Void on 1. That's usually a card they care about. In my experience, Prowess decks don't like this card. Nope. Alright, they conceded to it. Okay. Makes sense. Yep. Nope. They were a little unsure on sideboarding. Turns out, they were supposed to board in their Abrades, and they did not. So there we go. Well, the Chalice of the Voids were just for the Prowess matchup, and I do feel justified in having them now. I tell you what. That feels pretty good. That one feels pretty good. Oh, man. You take those. Alright. This hand's actually horrible. This is testing the limit for keeping a hand with Vial. It really is, especially in this matchup. Opponent's already on 6, but Vial is so good. I'm on the draw. I have a chance to draw some goblins. Man, this is quite the hand to think about. Wow. Given that I have Chalice of the Void in my deck, I think I'm supposed to mulligan, but man, it is so hard to turn down a hand that has Vial in it. I'm only a 22-land deck, and I have Ringleader to reload. This is so tough. If they play exactly the turn 2 Kiln Fiend, I'll be really unsure on it. I think I'm supposed to keep, though. Man, this I would have just thrown here. I definitely have better hands. This is in, like, the bottom 10% of hands I would consider keeping, but again, when you have Vial, you're just supposed to lean towards it, and I have 2 Vials. So, like, if I didn't have the card draw to pair in this hand, I think I would mulligan. I don't know. This is just so close. Alright, well, we're getting our Ringleader Thoughtseized, I would assume. But I think we're still in an okay spot. Opponent didn't actually lead with pressure, which is the thing I was a little more scared of. Okay, and we immediately drew a Snoop. That's not bad. Now I have to ask myself, should I shock? Because there is a world where I play Snoop next turn, and I can't do that if I play Swamp. Huh. You know, I don't think I do. I think preserving my life total against this deck matters enough. That might have been bad. There's definitely a very strong argument for shocking there. That play I'm unsure of. Because now, like, if they play a Kiln Fiend here, I haven't even left myself Abbot of Carol Keep. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. And that's only this turn. So that K command is gone. Our Vial is going to sit and play. That's good. Always yield to this. Yes, I would like to use the ability. Oh, and Matron's just fantastic. So we've just drawn, like, close to perfects. You'll take that all day. Yeah, next time I get to Violin, I can play my Matron and Violin. I'll probably get, like, a Putrid Goblin, honestly. Next turn. Putrid Goblin seems like a great thing to play. I just haven't taken damage. So even, like, with just what opponent's doing here. Okay, Soulscar Mage 2. So I do think I want to get Putrid Goblin. It is annoying that Soulscar Mage makes Persist not really work very well. Because this deals damage in the form of -1/-1 counters, like, this will just kill a Persist creature. So getting the Putrid Goblin is a lot less enticing now. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. So, I do think I lead on Snoop. I would like to get value if I can. So I'm going to lead on Snoop and see if there's a Goblin on top of my library. There is, but I can't get value. That's very unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. That said, that's a pretty good one. So how much damage am I taking now? This kills one of their things. Like, I can kill the Abbot with this. I think this one's good enough that it's worth keeping and just playing a tap land. My Snoop's gonna eat it. That's fine. This Seal of Fire is just gonna kill it. That's gonna happen. I could have shocked and played the Matron, but I still think it's better to just draw the red cap. Like, I just want to cast this next turn and kill this Abbot. I imagine they're going to kill my Snoop. I would be stunned if they did not. Fatal Push. Okay, so they wanted to trigger Prowess. That does make sense, given that they had a push in their hand. But it's not that much damage. I'm only going to 12. I guess I'm sitting at a virtual 10. But that's not that much. I get to play, the Persist creature. They only have one spell, which they could trigger. But I don't know. I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. Actually, Murderous Redcap doesn't... Now that I think about it, Murderous Redcap doesn't work with this in play. Because it deals damage equal to its power, and this can deal damage in the form of -1/-1 counters. So if it dies via -1/-1 counters, it won't come back, and it will deal damage based on last known information, which means it'll deal 0 damage. So I actually think I've maybe screwed this up. I should have just played the Matron in the last turn. That's a bad draw given what's on the table. Yeah, Soulscar Mage is really good against Persist creatures. Huh. Okay, Lava Dart. I still don't... That doesn't kill me. I don't believe. It is a 6 damage spell. I was going to, like, 10 on the table, so I'm at a virtual 4 now. But yeah, they're not gonna go all in on this. Okay. So, now I think I am supposed to tick up my Vials, and I think I made a mistake leaving it last turn. I should tick up my Vials, and I actually want to fetch away Murderous Redcap because it's just not what I'm looking for here. So I think I'm going to upkeep put in my Matron just to get the shuffle effect in. I think that's right. And now we kind of just want to flood the board. Yes. A way to gain life would be not bad here. I also have the option of getting... Munitions Expert's not bad either. Munitions Expert can get the Soulscar Mage off the table, which I think is actually... Yeah, I think that's the right place to go. Now I'm going to draw. Getting Soulscar Mage off the table just makes my deck function so much better. It's a lot easier to trade with an Abbot than it is with a bunch of other things. Okay, so Harbinger. How good is that for me? Makes Snoop combo not... I think I only have one Harbinger in the deck. I still think I want to just draw a Ringleader, though. Yeah. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We're about to be in a staring contest where opponent has removal spells lined up. I want to draw Ringleader. Yes. They have removal spells lined up for both of my things in board with this Lava Dart and the Seal of Fire. So, if they use either of them, at any point, I have to respond immediately with Munitions Expert. I think they won't, but they don't really have attacks. Ugh, Flame Slash is quite annoying. Oh, that's fine. If they let me have a block, I'm going to take it. Yeah. I think it's a pretty easy block. Alright. Now we're starting to get into kind of a tough spot. Although, we really just need to make it out of this turn. So let's see what they do here. I would guess they will flashback the Lava Dart. How bad is this for me? Lava Dart is not quite lethal. I will respond to Lava Dart and put Munitions Expert in play. Then they sack their Seal of Fire. I go to 2, but then my next turn's awesome. And they are out of cards. They still have a Luris they can get, which will be good for them when they get there, but that's a big mana investment. They're not going to be able to find lethal this turn through the Munitions Expert. That's not going to work. Okay. So I do respond to this and force them to pop the Seal of Fire on my Munitions Expert, which they will probably do, in fairness. I think it's right for them to do that. Yep. Okay. And now I go to 2, and I mean, I may as well use the ability, but now Luris isn't a realistic play for them anymore. I get to draw Ringleader, play Ringleader, get Sling-Gang, and I'm out of burn range again. I've got chump blockers lined up. Yeah. So really, really like the turn this has taken. Yeah, I'm going to use both. I think we have managed to kind of find our way back in this. So let's see what our Ringleader hits. I think that's a good place to start because we want to know what we're going to hit before we tutor for something. Oh, that's a lot of hits. Holy cow. Okay, so I'm going to take all of these, but I still want Sling-Gang because I don't want to die to just opponent drawing Lightning Bolt. That would just be dumb when I can easily play around it. So I'm going to go get the Sling Father, if you will. Let's get the Sling Man. We're going to put him into play. And I'm going to leave guys back to block. I'm just so far ahead now that I just can't put myself in a spot where I die to something dumb like a bolt here, which they could easily draw. They could just easily have a bolt here, but we're protected against it. We can sack 2 things. We still have blocks. I like our spot here. I just don't... There's just not very many draws. Another Lava Dart maybe gets opponent back in the game. It's so costly. They mulligan to start the game and we're on the play. So like the sack of land doesn't normally matter in this deck because the curve is so low, but here it does matter. So if they have to sack a mountain, then they're kind of locked out of just like, yeah, they don't have very many good plays the rest of the game. Yeah, and with just one spell, they don't even have shenanigans where they can like target Sling-Gang, then I have to decide whether I'm sacking, and then they cast something after. They kind of need to like get 2 spells in hand before they realistically beat the Sling-Gang. And if that's the case, okay, so they drew Bolt. So we just made, and they're bolting Sling-Gang. Interesting. Well, I'm definitely sacking the Sling-Gang. I think the play here is sack 1 Goblin. I want to get up to 4, just so that I don't die to the next bolt they draw. And this is still, yeah, this is target Sling-Gang. So now I'm going to sack the Sling-Gang, target them, sack it to itself, yes. So now I'm at 4. I still have a good trade here with Ringleader versus Abbot of Carol Keep and a chump block on Soulscar Mage, which I will take this turn. I'm at 4, so I'm out of range of the next burn spell. Yeah, and they are just snapping off the trade, which... little interesting, honestly. Yeah, there's no free spells. There's nothing I'm missing. No cards in hand. So, easy trade and chump here, in my opinion. Easy trade and chump. And it's easy because my hand is just so full of gas and opponent's just on no resources that every trade we make here is just an advantage for me. Opponent's on strictly the philosophy of fire at this point, where they need to be trading cards for my life total. That's their only... Oh, and that was a spectacular draw, too. Now I get to kill... Okay, well... I guess we do start with Ringleader. Because hitting a 3-drop would be a good way to just get to use the Vial here. And we hit Grumgully. Well, that is kind of insane. That was actually really insane. Hit 9 mana worth of Goblins. You take those. Oh, Grumgully. I actually get to deal 3 with the Murderous Redcap. That's dece. Very dece. Take that all day. All day, every day. Boom, shoot the Soulscar Mage. No more Soulscar for you. And, yeah, now we have good attacks. Opponent has to draw... I don't even... There's not even, like, a 2-damage spell that deals, like... Morphos into Boros Charm is the only thing I can think of here that would get him out. Yeah, Seal of Fire isn't it. That is very much not it. And I don't think they realize it, but they are actually dead to the Sling-Gang. I guess I do take both of these up. No reason not to. And I get to just play all the spells from my hand here. Grumgully being an X3 here matters too, for sure. Definitely matters here. So I get to go red, black, play... Nope, not that one. I wanted to play the Putrid. Just cancel. Alright. Putrid. This is one of those still had all D's scenarios where I could have just violed in the Sling-Gang, but also, like, why not just cast my spells? Because still had all D's. I'm going to put Kiki in play. I don't know what I'm copying. I guess Ringleader. Just send a message. Yeah, send a message. Woo! Munitions Expert and a Matron. So we just have all the value. I guess I'm going to combat. It doesn't matter. I win at instant speed. The Seal of Fire just can't break this up. But it's interesting to see how much damage this can do. Grumgully's actually looked pretty good. Yeah, so now I just put Sling-Gang in. I don't even need the combo at this point. I can just put Sling-Gang in, and that's that. Yep. The Sling Father. Doing the works. Alright, Sling Man. You know I love a Sling Man. The people know. The people know we have the Sling-Gang on this channel. Sling Man is part of the Sling-Gang. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. Alright, so apparently I knew the opponent we just played against last round. And I was correct. They did not board in their answers to Chalice in Game 2 and then snap Conceded to it. So, yeah, we'll take it. Wow, I have gotten some really pleasant opponents this set. Every single one has said GLHF and been pleasant. You'll love to see it. Shout out to the I see all this hate about Moto opponents. All right, I'm also going to keep this hand. It's a good hand. Shout out to, like, I see a lot of hate all the time on Twitter about Moto opponent was salty. This person's salty. I don't see that when I play Moto. Most of the time, my opponents are awesome, really nice, concerned about getting better and making the right play and trying to learn, which I just find refreshing. So okay, this is a good hand, but this is not the matchup this hand wanted to see. I wanted the Munitions Experts to be good. I have 20 combos in this deck and none of them in my hand, so might have punted keeping this. I definitely just want to go fast against Tron, so this was not it. Although Skirt Prospector does let me go fast. I can Ricky Bobby this, so we're gonna try to. Let's go fast, Ricky Bobby. I'm probably gonna go Turbo Ringleader here. Opponent wants to know if I am Zach Allen. I am. Nice to meet you. Gotta let him know. Love the podcast? God, you love to hear it. Wildratha7912, shout out to you. Fan of the up-to-date podcast? Yes. Look at this. A rant about having pleasant MTGO opponents. And Wildratha7912 comes in and is a fan of the podcast and just an all-around general good person. Shout out to you, Muldratha. Love it. God, love it. Every time. Never gets old. Also, if you ever, wondered, hey, should I tell, X content creator that I saw if I like their work when you do like their work? The answer is yes. You should go up to them and say that you like their work because it never gets old and they always want to hear it. This is an inside the business tip, for the record. Alright, so I can kind of ritual out a Snoop here. I don't know if that's good. I could sack Putrid Goblin twice and put in my Snoop. The question is that good? I think the answer might be that it is not. If I had a Harbinger on top of my library, it would be good, but I don't necessarily. I also can't really play anything. I think I'd rather save the mana for next turn. I think this is going to go bad for me. Opponent looks like they're going to have Tron and do something powerful here. Yeah, so pretty nervous about what's coming down the chute here. All right, had to let Muldrotha know that we're recording, but definitely also want to know, just all around good person. Unless they, Thought-Knot's here. Oh my god, I was so nervous I was gonna get Karned, and now it's just not Karn, and we're all good. Yes. Oh man, there's so many terrifying things. 7-mana Karn, Oblivion Stone, 20 other things that would all have been horrendous for me from Big Tron, and it's E-Tron, and I just don't have to worry. You love to see it. You don't love to get Thought-Knot seared on turn 3, but like, yeah, you're gonna take this. So the Snoop out of here. All right, it does make sense. It does make the sense. Drawing a land here would be excellent. Land, Plez. Land. Prospector. That is very much not land. Okay. So, what do I do to facilitate this hand? I can just play a Ringleader. I don't think that's good. I could put Pashlik Mons in play. That's pretty weak to a Dismember. And I think if opponent had Dismember, they would have left it up, and also they would not have had a chance to use it before. So if Dismember was in their hand, it's definitely still in their hand, and they can use it. So making a play that's bad against Dismember is not great. That said, do we have a better play around Dismember here? And I don't know that we do. Munitions Expert just doesn't quite get there. I guess if I just play Prospector, yeah, my best play. This is still going to be bad to Dismember. That just is the case. But I think, they saw my hand, they know what I have. If they, they would have played around Munitions Expert. I think I can just pass here and maybe see what they do next turn. I'm on the back foot here. Opponent's last play wasn't spectacular, so I'm not terrified of what they're doing. But certainly, they could have some plays here that would probably end the game, given that we missed our land. We really wanted to hit land. But I would be fine here to, they tap out for something. I can sack Putrid Goblin, make a red, then go black-red, Munitions Expert them. That is big. Okay, don't like that. That's scary. They're making a 2-2, though. That's beatable. Again, you don't love to see it. Karn. Okay. Yup, okay. I get it. I don't like it, but I do get it. What are we getting with Karn here? They can cast something that costs 4. This is all just real bad for me. All this stuff happening here, none of it's good for me. Muldrotha is out here laying down the hurt right now. They're choosing an artifact card from outside the game. What is it? What are we getting? Torpor Orb? Torpor Orb would be atrocious. Let's hope they don't have that one. I think I'm just actually cold to Torpor Orb game 1. Right? I guess. Liquid Metal Coating. That's at least beatable. It's not good. I don't like it, but it's beatable. So there's that. I do have that going for me. I'm probably going to start getting Stone Rained here. Which isn't great. Okay, so given that they got Liquid Metal Coating, I need to make the play that gives me a shot of beating this card, I believe. So I'm going to do that. And kill Karn, which I don't really want to do. I could also hit the Thought-Knot Seer. No, I need to just kill Karn. There's just too many ways this gets blown out. And now, if I go to my upkeep, I can kill the Thought-Knot Seer through a Dismember, which is good. I can also kill the Ugin the Ineffable, which isn't awful. It's not awful. So, would have liked to hit a land. We didn't. What does that mean for us? I think it means I'm supposed to hit this Thought-Knot Seer. See, then I bash. I have a bunch of things that don't really get me where I want to go. It's awkward. I think I could also sack this for red, but I don't love it. think I'm just supposed to play the Munitions Expert and hit this TKS. Although hitting Ugin is enticing. The TKS isn't really doing anything, and we'll be able to kill it a lot easier than this Ugin, which is going to continue to generate value. I think I'm going to make the play that gets slightly more blown out by a Dismember, but at least, like, if I get blown out, I can kind of get around it by attacking. Okay, so we got their big plays off the board. We're still losing at the moment, but it's not devastating what's happening here. We have managed their Planeswalkers, which is good. If they have a good follow-up here, it's going to be bad, obviously. But, you know, we're on the back foot. We haven't drawn the land we wanted to draw. Okay, opponent's passing. So that, maybe they're flooding. Yeah, they might just not have anything. They might have been counting on their Planeswalkers and then kind of let us sneak back in this game. That would be quite good. Okay, so here's a spot where I would consider ringleadering. Sacking a thing to ringleader here makes some sense to me. I still think, though, that I'm supposed to just get Pashlik Mons in play. And given that I have a sack outlet, I've got a plan, I guess, where now removal doesn't really work. If they attack, I have blocks I can make and then deal damage to things. I want to leave this Spirit here chilling, and we are certainly playing a dangerous game. Okay, so they had a Spatial Contortion. That does make sense. Do I want to sack a lot of things to kill the Thought-Knot Seer, which I think is reasonable, but I also don't think I want to do it. You know what? It's really not crazy. It's really not crazy to do. And they're all just kind of 1/1s anyway. I actually think I'm supposed to do this. Okay, we're going to do it. I can get the Thought-Knot Seer off the table, which is pretty strong. This is a kind of a weird play, but I get to draw the card at least, so that's good. Alright, I'm going to yield because we'll just go quicker that way. I'll sacrifice Munitions Expert. We'll ping. And then I'm going to sacrifice Prospector to itself. Or I guess I can sack the other one. Doesn't matter. We're sacking a Prospector. I'll ping. I'll get my draw in. Yep. Which is nice. It's a land, which is good. I get to reload. And now I can sack Pashlik Mons to itself. Deal them a point of damage. And I'm really not that far away from where I was to begin with. Like, I was going to be left with 4 1/1s in play that really only one of them had an ability. Now I have 3 1/1s, but I drew a card and got the Thought-Knot Seer off the table. So I think all in all, that was definitely worth it. Ideally, I would have just kept waiting, but, you know, they kind of forced my hand. And then, given that they acted first, it was a good time to kind of go in on that. And it looks like they're flooding. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they started attacking with this. Well, maybe it's just a land and it just won't even do them that much. But yeah, I would not have been shocked if they just started attacking with it. Okay, so now we're going to start trying to reload our hand and start hitting combo pieces. We were kind of missing, like, just drawing spells for a little while there, so I wouldn't be shocked if the top of our library has a decent amount of lands, and this doesn't hit that well, but this is a really goblin-heavy build, so this should hit. Okay, actually, we hit very well. You're going to take that all day, every day, as it turns out. Still don't have good attacks. We still don't have good attacks here, but we are now a Grum Gully away from the combo kill. And this finds Grum Gully. So we've put ourselves in a spot where we can combo. So we're going to start going for that next turn. Oh, wait. No, Pashlik Mons is dead. This is not the combo. I have lied to everybody. Apologies. We could make infinite mana is what we could do, which doesn't do anything. But we could do it. We could have infinite mana. Yeah. It'd be cool if this deck had like a land that had a mana dump. It doesn't. You could play like a Kessig Wolf Run or something. It's kind of a weird way to do it, but we could put one in here. It's not like crazy. I don't really like it though. This is a build, honestly, this is a build that if the rest of the Modern Horizons cycle was completed, it would be insane to have a black-red one. We don't, so you have to play an off-color like Canopy land if you want to play one, but this is a build of Goblins that really wants a Canopy land, even for like way more so. Oh, that's bad. Oh, man, we were hoping they didn't draw gas. It's always the best spell in the deck. So what are we getting here? Sky Sovereign, maybe? Sky Sovereign would be pretty bad. They can't crew it at least, so I can attack Karn off. But yeah, I'm getting Liquid Metal Coating. So that's bad. At least I don't lose the land immediately. Still Meridian me wasn't going to do very much. Huh. I'm actually curious where they go with this. A Ratchet Bomb would be pretty bad, although it's kind of diverse. Walking Ballista. Oh, yeah, that's way worse. What was I thinking? Holy cow, that's bad for me. Kill your board. All right. Yeah, if you say so. I can't even, like, force them to use it, which is also just really bad. Yeah. No, this is horrible. This is about as bad as it could have gone for me. And now they just have a 4/4, which is just so much bigger than anything I'm doing. Yeah, this is just so bad for me. Just many orders of magnitude of bad. And my Cavern of Souls no longer makes green mana, so that's not good. Oh, Aether Vial. Well, you know, Aether Vial is the best card in this deck, but drawing it when your opponent has a Karn in play that you're not going to really be able to touch, not exactly it. Do I have plays that get me out of this? I think that I don't. And I should not waste people's time. The problem is that I can't kill the Walking Ballista, and so they're going to untap, and then I have access to 11, 13, 14, 15 mana, and if they have another land, 16, which is 4 pumps, this becomes an 8/8, and I have a bunch of X1s, so yeah, I think I'm just going to pack it in. My attacks don't even, like, force it, and I don't have hasty things, like, it just, yeah. Yeah, that's just really atrocious for me. So we kept the hand we probably shouldn't have kept against him. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I do like Trashmaster. Trashmaster's good. I like Munitions Expert. I'm going to bring in my Thought Squeezes. I'm going to squeeze some thoughts. I am actually going to go down on a Harbinger. I still think Harbinger stinks. It's okay, but not really what I'm looking for. And Skirk Prospector, I think, is also, like, fine, but mostly bad. What kind of Putrid Goblin? I think Thoughtseize is definitely worth it. Eldrazi Tron's the type of deck that has 4 to 8 removal spells total post-board. If you count Walking Ballista, maybe they have 10, which is a fine number of removal spells. Like, it's the right number for that deck to be playing, but not as many as you would like to really be able to beat a creature combo deck. Like, the decks that creature combos struggle with are, like, the Jund decks that have upwards of 15, 16 removal spells, and then other permanents that, like, aren't removal spells but can function like it against you, like a Liliana of the Veil, for example, or a Wrenn and 6. Okay, this hand is just not keepable. This is an easy mulligan. This hand is bad but keepable. You notice we boarded out 2 Skirk Prospectors and then still have 2 Skirk Prospectors in our hand, so that's not great. We're going to definitely bottom one. But we have Vial and Thoughtseize, which are just great cards. I could lead on Mountain, but I'm going to end up Thoughtseizing anyway, which means I'm going to have to shock this. And if I shock on turn 1, then if I draw, like, another Blood Crypt or a Stomping Ground, I can at least fetch that tapped next turn, because I am going to Thoughtseize next turn, so I think all in all that's the right play to make. The life total is also not super relevant against Etron. It can be relevant, but it's not that relevant. Also, of note, opponent kept 7 here, which is a disaster for us, because when Etron keeps 7, it means their hand is very good. So you don't like to see that. I mean, I'm not... Obviously, you're never rooting for an opponent to mulligan, but you don't love to see it. Okay. So hopefully... I mean, we're going to find out. The truth shall be known. What are we fighting here? Okay, their hand wasn't actually busted. Their hand's definitely good, though. It wasn't broken, but it is definitely good. So, Sky Sovereign, I think, is the thing I'm the least scared of. TKS is going to come down before I can ring lead, unfortunately. Well, maybe not. So I actually can just ring lead next turn, but then the TKS is still going to be good. I think I'm supposed to just take the TKS here. It's the best card in a vacuum. And I think like, my hand is just so bad, and I got such a gift drawing this ringleader that I'm gonna go, like, I'm gonna try to ringlead next turn. I'm, like, gonna use the Putrid Goblin as a ritual, probably, which might be wrong. We'll find out. The Blast Zone's also pretty annoying. Oh, no, I didn't use my Prospector. No. Wow, just absolutely trying to throw. Just very hard. Ugh. Wow. And this makes the Blast Zone even better, which is just really unfortunate. Man, that is just bad. That's real bad. That's frustrating. I mean, I have no one to blame but myself. My hand wasn't like good, so it's not like I really threw a game, and I can still come back, but that is just not good play on my part. Which is a shame because it's a video, so you would like to play well, you know, but I am not going to block here. I could ambush Putrid Goblin, the Matter Reshaper, but that could just turn on the Blast Zone, which I'm not interested in doing. Yep, I'm going to put this in. So, definitely going to use both of them. So, what are we drawing? Hopefully a 3-drop. A land. Well, land's not terrible. So, I think what I'm supposed to do here is sacrifice the Putrid Goblin to itself, because I think it is abundantly likely that opponent... So, what was in their hand? We know Tower's gone, we know Blast Zone's gone, we know Shaper's gone. So they have 2 cards I don't know about, and they didn't make a play last turn. I am definitely going to shock. The question is, am I sacking Prospector or the Goblin? I think given that it's pretty likely I get Prospector or Blast Zone next turn. You know, they might just still play Karn next turn, though. Yeah, and if they play Karn, both of these get shut off, which is, like, pretty bad. I think I'm going to sack the Putrid Goblin. I think that's a slightly better play. Because now it kind of forces them to Blast 101, which would still be bad for me, don't get me wrong, but at least it, you know, kind of eats their full turn. Oh, wow. This was some really good draw, or some really good hits. Okay, so... what do I want to do with this? If I matron here, I could put a Snoop in play, and then I have Harbinger. That has to be the best play, right? Opponent just doesn't have any outs to that. Yeah, we're just going to go straight for the combo. I am going to get my damage in, but I think this is a pretty easy matron for Snoop here. And if they have a removal spell, then they do, but I don't think they will. I would like a Snoop. 1 Snoop Plez. Alright, and I think I'm supposed to sack Ringleader? No, I'm going to sack Matron. I'm definitely sacking Matron. The question is, do I sack Ringleader or the Prospector? I actually think, given that I have another Ringleader, I'm supposed to sack this Ringleader, which is weird, but I think it's right. Yeah. Oh, we got Pashlik Mons in play. That's actually kind of interesting. Well, no, the activated ability is too expensive. It's kind of interesting, though. So, 2 cards I don't know about. Nothing in their hand this moment stops me. I'm actually kind of shocked they didn't tick this up to 2 in a turn. So, they do have the Dismember. That makes my play a little worse, but ultimately fine. Like, it's just, it's just going to be acceptable. So can I do anything with mana? No, there's just nothing really here that's that great. So now I know opponent's hand is these 3 cards and something I don't know about. And now they have stopped their attack, which makes sense. I don't think I would be attacking here either. I am definitely going to tick both of these up. I am kind of upset that I sacked the Ringleader now, but it's fine. Alright, so I'm definitely starting by playing Ringleader. See what value awaits. Oh, that's a Grumgully. And another Snoop. Wow. So we are really putting pressure on opponent here. Just so much pressure. Yeah, this is like really close. I think I'm supposed to play Grumgully. That's my read. I'm going to put it in play. Yeah. Okay. And now we wait. I could do some other things, but this being unpersisted is pretty bad now. I am, however, threatening combo again, which is nice. And yeah, they kind of have to tick up to 2 here, just out of respect of Snoop. But if they cast anything, they die. So they are kind of just in this, like, I have to leave up a Blast Zone play pattern. Because if they cast a spell, they lose. And then I can be in a play pattern where I just don't do anything. Or, like, Harbinger for... something else? Huh. So, I think I'm still supposed to put Snoop into play here. That's my read. Is that I still put Snoop into play, and they will definitely sack their land end of turn, but I'm okay with that. And we're drawing another Matron. That is a fantastic draw. Yeah, so they're just going to pop this now, which makes sense. It does kill my other Putrid Goblin, but again, that's fine. But I'm drawing Matron, right? So is this lethal? I have Grumgully, I have the Sack Outlet, I have the Mons. So if I tick this up to 3, yeah, I can just get... Yeah, so they're dead. Okay. Need to make sure, but they are dead here. I just get my Murderous Redcap, and that'll be that. So this is the one I want to tick up. This is the one I want to say no to. Nope. So... It actually kills them at instant speed. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Matron in play. Get me my Murderous Redcap, which I guess... Maybe they have plays that beat this, but I don't think so. I think this is going to kill them. That would be my guess. They have one card I don't know about, and it has to be Dismember, and they, like, did this... they did the, like, use Blast Zone to answer Snoop thing, so it's not really... Like, it doesn't seem like they have... Is this a combo? It is. I can show it to them, though. Alright. Muldrotha wanted to know how it works. Okay, so now we've explained it to him. I could see the Warren weirding. I think it's okay. It's so bad against Metairie Shipper, though, that I don't really want it. I could also see bringing back a Skirk Prospector on the draw just to be a little faster. And I don't hate it, especially like against Karn and Blast Zone to go down to 3 vials. That one's a little weird to me. It definitely feels a little loose, too. Because Vial's really good against them outside of exactly Karn. It's a little susceptible to Blast Zone, but... I think it's okay. I could see going down to 1 Kiki. I think that's totally reasonable. Kiki, this is not a matchup for Kiki. And, like, in the other build, leaving... Like, you left 2 Kikis in when you wanted a combo because if you just drew... Like, if you board down to 1 and then drew it, it was a disaster. But... Ugh, this hand doesn't do anything. This hand's interesting. It's really slow. Muldrotha has... mulliganed. It's really slow, and I have pieces of 2 different combos, but I'm not really going towards either one. I have interaction. I think this is a mulligan. It doesn't have a 1-drop. Yeah, and this hand is just miles better. Just absolute miles better. Yeah, just not even close how much better this hand is. This is a hand you keep. So I got Vial. Again, that can be weak to Karn, but it's still the best card in my deck, so I'm not going to not play, like, look for a hand with Vial in it. Yep. And this is the power of the London Mulligan. It's just so good. Look at this hand. The last hand was like, medium. I didn't have a good one-mana play. There's just some stuff you didn't like about it. This hand is just like, I have 2 insane cards in a row. Ooh, an opponent led on Cavern. That's interesting. So I guess it's going to be the Cavern Mirror. I'm going to name Goblin. I could fetch there. I don't think there's a real reason to fetch yet. I could just play the Mountain, but I'm going to name Goblin on Cavern anyway. It doesn't matter for counterspells. It's just a 3-color land in this matchup. Wow. Cavern off. Sorry, I have to make the joke. I have to. All right, they probably don't find that funny, but I enjoyed it personally. I really I really enjoyed that. Okay, so I would like to stop them from doing something crazy here, like Thought Not Seer, or there's a lot of things I want to stop them from doing here. So I am I can't get like an Overgrown Tomb. I probably wouldn't get it anyway, even if I had it. And I definitely want to cast Thoughtseize. The double red only really matters for Snoop, but I have a red land next turn anyway. And I think the life total could matter, so I'm just going to go with the Swamp. That might come back to bite us later. I wouldn't be shocked. Okay, so opponent has Dismember, Smasher, TKS. I think it's a very easy take TKS here. Because I'm going to put them in a spot where if they ever play Smasher, they like kind of lose immediately. And they don't have a good way to disrupt the other things I'm doing. So I think that's a pretty easy take. I could take the Dismember, but if I take the Dismember, Thought Not Seer still breaks up my combo. Like, he just plays Thought Not Seer next turn, takes my Snoop. I no longer have a combo. I'm going to be kind of scrambling to make the Matron work. And realistically, yeah, like, you just take the TKS and the Karn. Those are the things you take. If they didn't have either of those, I would have taken the Dismember, but obviously they did, so yeah. And they're going to play the Relic. They'll probably just cycle it. It doesn't really do anything against me. But I know their hand right now, with the exception of one card, so I'm in a pretty good spot. And they're kind of in a spot where if they ever play Smasher, they're going to die. They are, in fact, just dead to Smasher if they play it, so I think this is a good turn to just put Pashalik Mons in play. Just use my mana. Especially because, like, I could cast Matron here and get Harbinger. I could definitely do that. But it might be better for me to just get Harbinger, or Ringleader next turn. I might decide to go that route. And if I do, like, I want to just delay the decision until I see more of what opponent's doing. Dismembering Mons here is very interesting, I think. I can't say I like that play all that much, but maybe opponent drew a second Dismember, which would make a lot of sense. Or if they think they're going to tap out here for Smasher, because that's just the play their hand's giving them, then it makes some sense. Okay, so they did tap out for Smasher. Well, you know, this might just be the only play they had. They couldn't have really known that it was going to mean they just die on the spot here. I guess they could still have, like, Simian Spirit Guide, second Dismember, something crazy like that. But, yeah, this actually kills them. Unless, if we drew exactly Kiki Jiki... okay, we're drawing Snoop, so, yeah. So if we drew exactly Kiki Jiki, this would not kill them, but we're drawing Snoop, so we got it. I would like to use Aether Vial's ability, yes. Draw the Snoop. I'm going to play a Mountain. Cast my Matron. Get a Harbinger. The Harbinger of Death. Yep. I would like to use the ability, yes. Gets me a Bogart Harbinger. Ooh, I can sack for mana in the meantime if I want to. I don't really think that does anything, but I can do it. Yep, I'm going to use Aether Vial's ability. I will get Kiki Jiki. I respect opponent for making me show them Kiki Jiki. After this, though, I would concede. But also, Muldrotha seemed like a pretty chill dude. GG's, or lady. GG's, Muldrotha. It was a pleasure to play you. Hopefully you watched the video and get to see that that I really did appreciate having them as an opponent. They were awesome. Cool to play against. So that was neat. That was neat. Always cool to run into a fan. Yeah, really appreciated that match, honestly. I thought they played well too. They kind of dismantled us game 1. Played through some flood and just played well. Game 2, I don't really think they could have done all that much different. We've won the die roll for match 4. We're ready to go. How is this for a hand? Well, I have Skirk Prospector into Snoop. I am on the play. And I have Matron to find Harbinger. So, I think it's a pretty good hand. I have the Kiki Jiki, which is awkward, but on the play, I think I'm supposed to keep this. I could see this hand going south in a real hot second if opponent has like a run in 6 decks. They have some removal. I'm not actually good against counter spells, so like Mana Leak would be really good against this hand. There's a lot of stuff here that I don't like about this hand, and honestly, I think it's again like in that bottom 10% of keepable hands. Gemstone Caverns, interesting. I don't know what that means. Opponent could be Ugin the Spirit Dragon, so presumably Greentron? I guess? I don't know. That could be very many things. I'm not going to fetch on turn 1. I could, but I actually want to leave lands in my deck to draw them. So, again, people make a big deal about thinning. It's not a big deal, but it's like one of those things where it's so minor that I should be doing it anyway, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't hurt me to not do this, so like I should be doing it, right? I don't know. I don't know if that was that clear, but that's kind of how I feel about it. Okay, so I have a feeling we're going to be a turn slow, and this Gemstone Cavern is probably going to matter, but we'll find out. I'm going to get my Conspicuous Snoop into play and hope that Harbinger is the card on top of my library. Also, does Kiki Jiki do it? Oh, this is Bluetron? Well, that's awkward. I got my turn 2 play condescended when I was on the play. Alright, Bluetron should be absolutely terrible against my deck. Just being honest, it should be. That said, I kept a hand that's really bad against Bluetron, so maybe this is on me. Maybe I'm supposed to mulligan this hand. I could see it. It kind of already was a 6 with Kiki. I don't know. Just hands that have a turn 2 Snoop and like my mana guy seem good to me. Yeah. Opponent is just going to counter myself. I really just want to draw a cavern, and that's not a cavern, so that's not ideal, but we're going to bash. We are going to bash. I am assuming that whatever I do gets countered here. That's kind of where I'm at. So I'd rather run out Pashlik Mons than Matron. But we'll see what opponent does. But I am assuming this is getting countered. Condescend, Remand, 20 different counter spells that Bluetron could have. Yep. And it seems like they have it. Just kind of deciding what they're going to... Maybe this is just a thirst for knowledge. Could also be that. Nope, it's getting condescended. Okay, that makes sense. I thought they were going to counter the thing, so just all makes the sense. Makes all the sense in the world. Well, opponent's on an 18-turn clock, so they better get moving. They better get moving. And I think next turn, I might even be able to double spell my way into a Matron plus a Prospector. Whew! Running hot! I guess I'm going to show off the Prospector and bait with it. They can counter anything, so it doesn't really matter. But they might be able to counter spells. I don't know. It could be the case. They probably aren't. I would imagine this is also getting countered, but you never know. We did get to double spell our way to sweet 1/1s. We have very many 1/1s. Oh, it resolved! All the 1/1s! shout out to 1-1, who was a giant in Game of Thrones. 1-1 the Giant. Brought down the walls of Winterfell when Ramsay had it. Shout out to you, 1-1. You're the real MVP. God, 1-1. What a hero, man. Absolute hero. Fought the dead army, too. Just... God. Kind of brings a tear to my eye. Also, shout out Hodor. You're always going to miss a Hodor, but... Shout out to you, Hodor. They discarded a dismember. Interesting. That makes me concerned for what the rest of their hand is. I assume it involves Tron now. Yeah, okay, yeah, that adds up. So, opponent is going to have Tron next turn and a large payoff. Does that do anything for me? I think that it does not. I also think it's rather likely opponent is going to Oblivion Stone me next turn. Huh. So what do I want to do here? I assume that the best I can really do here is just play a ringleader. None of my plays are great. And this at least, like, if there are other plays like another Condescend, I at least get around it, them cracking the map. No, it's a Remand. Remand was just awful for me here. That was absolute worst case scenario. Okay. So this is an example of having a 4 Aether Vial, 4 Cavern of Souls deck lose to the deck that is relying on only counterspell-based disruption. Pretty unfortunate. Pretty unfortunate. Things have just really not gone my way this game. That said, I do think this is a good matchup for me. I can't imagine Bluetron, like... I can't imagine Bluetron actually winning games where, like, I know I'm playing against Bluetron. Certainly, there, you know, there's like the 10% where they just have a nut draw and I have bad draws, but this just, none of their tools line up against what I'm doing. They don't have a lot of removal spells. They have maybe 2 Dismembers, maybe like 2 Ballistas total in the whole thing, and they're just really reliant on counterspells. Just passing? What is this? They don't even have a... What is happening? Chaos! It is chaos. Chaos reigns. Alright. I assumed this is getting countered, and they just... I don't know what's in their hand. They discarded, like, real plays. Is this a Condescend for 50? What is this? They just want to... It's still only scrying 2, though. I don't... Counterspell for 7. Okay. No, I can't pay 7. I could put Harbinger in play. I don't think that really does that much for me. I have to sack 2 things, so it's not even like adding power to the board. It's just neutral on that front. They put 1 card on the bottom, so they did top a card. That's probably a disaster, if we're being honest. I will point out, again, they have resolved 4 counterspells against me, which probably shouldn't happen. Yeah, probably shouldn't happen. Okay, Karn the Great Creator. Let's see what they get. I assume this is lights out here, but you never know. I would assume we are getting lights outed. Walking Ballista. That's probably lights out. Alright, I'll concede to that. Yeah, so... Kept a marginal hand. They had Condescend for turn 1 on the play, which I don't think they were winning, but... I mean, they had it, so it's fine. I do like Trashmaster. Again, Harbinger kind of stinks. I like having some of it, but not a lot. I'm going to cut a Prospector. I don't actually like Munitions Expert against Bluetron. I think I'm going to leave 2, but not go hard on it. And I think I could... I'm just going to cut another Harbinger. Harbinger's just so bad. I think 2's the right number. All right. So, opponent's heavily boarding. It makes sense to me. I mean, I would be too. I just, yeah, if I start with like a Vial, or if my hand has Cavern of Souls, I just can't see them winning. I guess they probably have like Aether Gust. They probably actually have a lot of Aether Gust now that I think about it. They are a Karn deck, so maybe not. Maybe they're tight on space and they have like 2 Gusts. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I've played against Bluetron a lot historically, but it's not a deck I keep up to date with. That's just not... yeah, I'm not looking at up-to-date Bluetron lists because I don't think Tron is good right now. But maybe Bluetron is good. I don't know. Could be. It could be the case. Could be. How we doing? Come on, Gustav Hagelin. Alright, we're back post board. Opponent took a long time to sideboard there. I think they're kind of trying to figure out what they should do. Ugh. This hand is aggressively medium. It's really bad against turn 3 Tron. But Snoop is one of the best cards in my deck against them. I don't have Vial or Cavern, which we saw game 1 is like almost a free win in some spots. I still think Snoop turn 2 on the play is just so good. I'm supposed to keep against decks like this, I think. It's unfortunate that I don't have Vial. Alright, they kept 7. That's... I guess Bluetron is a little more likely to keep 7 than like Greentron, because they aren't just all in on mulliganing to Tron, but you don't love to see it. You definitely don't. Okay. So what is on top? Kiki Jiki would be... No, I want Kiki Jiki. I want to draw Kiki Jiki, or I want to have Kiki Jiki on top next turn. That's what I want to do. What is happening here? Opponent's tanking on this. You can't counter this. Don't counter my Snoop. What did he do to you? He even has the peace sign. Oh, Matron on top? I'll take a Matron on top. Yes, please. Yes, please. Is opponent missing? Did they... What? They kept 7 and missed their land drop? How is that the case? What? What just happened? What was that? They must have F6 through their turn. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. I don't know what just happened there. I thought we were in for a tight game. Instead, we just were not. Okay, well. Let's run it back. I don't know what just happened there. That was nonsense. Take it, though, I guess. Wow. This is one of those hands you really got to think about because it is slow as molasses and really weak to like a Repeal or a Karn. But no. I mean, okay, what is this? A turn 4 kill if I draw a land, and that's I think this is a mulligan. It's too slow on the draw. I don't have... Like, I do have the Vial, which is fine, but I don't have any plays before... Like, yeah, I just... Yeah, if I could cast anything, I'd probably keep, but I think that's too slow. Okay, this hand is, I think, actually good. Debatable how good, but I think it is actually good. The question here is, what am I bottoming? I can see an argument for Prospector. I don't think Prospector is particularly good. But also bottoming land makes a lot of sense to me. I think, given I have black mana, I'm going to bottom the Bloodstained Mire, which is weird. But just getting Tarn... Like, I'd rather draw Bloodstained Mire later because it's a better fetch land than Tarn. They're almost the same land. It's just the Mire gets the one swamp. This is going to get a red-green land anyway, so I think it's fine. Okay. I am going to fetch... No, I was not supposed to fetch Shock. Well, it doesn't matter. I have another fetch land anyway. I was definitely not supposed to fetch Shock there. I was supposed to just play the Blood Crypt and play the Vial. But it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I was going to hardcast Snoop anyway if they didn't play Blue Land here, which they did not. They do have Tron now. You really hate to see this deck just having turn 3 Tron when they kept 7 because they only have Expedition Map to find it. Like, they have Thirst for Knowledge, which, like, kind of finds it, but, like, it doesn't really. Oh, now I'm really getting punished for not playing the Blood Crypt, so yeah, that stinks. I mean, I'm going to play the Snoop. I could also play the Putrid Goblin. Maybe I should just play the Putrid Goblin. That's tough. I'm going to play the Snoop. This really stinks against, like, an O-Stone, but okay. Matron's a good draw. Matron's actually, like, a very good draw. Can I kill them next turn? I can't, right? Wait. No, I can actually kill them next turn if they, like, don't go, like, Karn minus on Snoop. If they, like, play an O-Stone here and pass, I have lethal next turn. Oh, they just dismembered. Well, that's probably pretty good for them. And what is this? Worm Coil? Walking Ballista for 3? Alright, I mean, that's about as good of a draw as you could have possibly drawn up for this deck. Turn 3 Tron on the play with a Dismember and a Walking Ballista. Okay. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I could put the Prospector out. It doesn't really get me anywhere, so I'm just not going to do that. That's an absurd draw for the opponent. Holy cow. Okay. So how do I get out of this? I don't think I have a ton of ways out. I kind of need them to not have a lot after this. I'm hoping they have like some blue spells and no blue mana. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. So I can cast the Matron this turn. What does that do for me? I could get like the Trash Master, which gives me a shot next turn, but is not great. I could get Grumgully and hope to draw something, but Ballista is just going to break all of this up. Comboing is kind of off the tip. I think I just have to get Trash Master and hope. I think that's just where I am, and it's not good. I don't like being here, but I think that is the place of my residence is in the garbage can right now, and if you're in the garbage can, you go find the Trash Master. Tale as old as time, my friends. You go find the Trash Master. Where you at, Trash Master? There you are. Whew! We got a Trash Man. He's out here collecting the trash. This is probably not very good, but I don't know. Maybe opponent doesn't have very much after this. I'm certain they probably just, their hand was like just 2 Tron pieces map and then all colorless gas and just no blue mana in your deck that's like a decent amount blue spells, but you also just didn't draw blue spells, so it won't matter. Okay, they're killing the Matron. Okay. I guess. I don't really love it, but I guess. So what do we think is happening here? Okay, if they're attacking like this, I am going to Violin the Putrid Goblin and block. If they want to pump... No, that's a disaster. I can't do that. I certainly can't be letting that happen. Yeah. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to Vial it in end of turn after they make a play. Yeah. I think I have to do that. You would hope opponent's hand just doesn't have everything they could possibly want, given that their start was so insane. Like, you would have kept any start that was like these 6 cards, right? So I kind of hope the rest of their hand is bad. That's how I win, because I certainly don't win in the scenario where the rest of their hand is good stuff. I'm not winning that game. But, okay, Field of Ruin gets them blue mana. That's probably good for the opponent. It makes my Trash Master play not the most effective. I guess I get Mountain. Protect against them fielding a black source next turn. I guess I do that. Yeah. Well, now it's like blatantly obvious that my next spell's getting countered. So I'm really praying to draw a Cavern of Souls. Really praying for it. But also not doing stuff against this deck is pretty bad. Cavern of Souls one time. How about another Vial? How do we feel about that? Probably not the greatest, I would say. This isn't good. I'm going to play my Prospector. No, I should not play Prospector. I guess I attack. I'm not blocking, so I should probably get damage in, but I think the odds of me winning this game with damage are extraordinarily low. So, yeah. Yep, and this is where they just start casting Thirst. Oh, no, they're putting counters on Ballista. That's probably also bad for me, if we're being honest. Can they pump twice? That still doesn't kill me. I'm not at a spot where this kills me yet, but obviously I don't love my spot. Although, it could be the case that they have a decent amount of counterspells in their hand that we're making dead. That could be the case. They have had the chance to do things and... Oh, wow. That's... Yep. Yep. Yup. Wow. Opponent has just had the thing they needed at every turn. They had the blue mana in time to turn off Trash Master. I waited. They had the Blast Zone. Yeah. I don't know. Well, this is going to be a really frustrating loss. I don't see myself coming back from this, and this is a horrible game to lose because this should be just an unbelievable matchup for us. Okay, we might be back. We might be back. We're probably not back, but we might be back. We might be back. We got a Trash Man. He's doing Trash Man things. We get to get around... Yeah. Hello. Hello, friend. I'm going to get my beats in. And I kind of assume they're going to go to pump Ballista end of turn. And then I guess I am sacking Trash Master to kill the Ballista. The thing is that if I sack my Persist creature, they just kill the Trash Master anyway. I guess they'll kill the Persist. It ends the same way no matter what I do, right? Because if I sack the Trash Master to kill it, so I might as well make him kill the better card. Yeah, alright. What I probably should have done is... Oh, could I have stacked that differently? No. It's a cost to sack, right? So it was going to stack this way no matter what I did. Okay. Just making sure. So yeah, now they get to kill... I presume they kill the Trash Master. Yep, they will. And now we're left with a 1-1 versus 4 cards. The opponent has 8 mana, so you don't love that. But we at least have fought through the Walking Ballista. So, step 1 completed. Step 2 is have opponent draw only counterspells for the rest of the game, or lands. Both are acceptable. While they lose to the ferocious 1-1 beats. That's what we're looking for here. Just draw only counterspells and lands for the rest of the game. And get Cavern of Souls out. That'd be perfect. Okay, Expedition Map's kind of a land. It's probably going to get like a Blast Zone, so... Oh no, it's probably going to get a Field of Ruin, right? Maybe they only have 1? How many lands can you play, right? They can't have that many. Okay, they have that many. Wonderful. This really has been something else. This deck has just had the perfect answer literally every single turn of the game. It's been pretty annoying, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. It's like they blew a Field of Ruin earlier just to get blue mana, but they just have a second one on their list. And they have the Expedition map that turn. Good news is, for me, is that they have a lot of like mana-based counterspells, and none of them work against my terrible hand of 1/1s. 1/1 beats, my friend. 1/1 beats. The beats are strong today. Yeah, so they can make me pay 3? Nah. Nope. Remand. All right, well, that's fine. I don't mind them remanding a Prospector. Are you remanding twice? This is just unbelievably rude. Well, I get to have all my Prospectors in play. So now our clock has significantly increased. We got huge damage output going. Attacking for 3 a turn. 3! Getting in. Again, lands and counterspells. It's all... Now that we're winning on board, you're just totally fine with the opponent only having those. Alright, land. That's one of the things we're happy with. What is that? Chalice on 1? Okay. I have cast all of my 1-drops. I guess I have Thoughtseize I could still draw. This is still good for me, though. Kiki Jiki. Well, I think the odds that resolves are not good. I think that is the case. And I am of the opinion that I should not give opponent targets for Condescend. I think it's just actively harmful for me to cast the spells, and I should kind of save that to, like, maybe if I get them down to 2, they, like, tap out, and then I can, like... Is this a Karn? Don't be a Karn. Chalice on 2? Okay. Opponent is kind of dying on board, and they've drawn stuff that don't matter. So maybe we're fighting back. Matron, again. I could cast these things. I think I'm not supposed to. I think I'm supposed to make opponent answer my stuff before I give him a target for Condescend. That's the feeling I'm getting, because it feels to me like they have Condescend. They, like, the fact that they just so aggressively went after my Cavern is kind of tipping me off. Although they definitely had Chalice, so maybe that was what they had. Repeal? Okay. Okay. Still dying on board. Still dying on board, so we're kind of doing it. I can't cast the Putrid Goblin, but that's not the end of the world. The Prospector beats! The Prospector beats! Go! Alright, and I'm, like, there's no reason to give them a target for Condescend here. If they draw a thing that stops this, then they draw a thing that stops that. But I'm not going to let them find it. That's kind of my... Oh. Okay. You don't love to see that. You really don't love to see that. Yeah. You don't love to see that. Now, I'm hoping this means they're, like, looking for something else. Okay, they've chosen a card. What has Gustav Hagelin... Thirst for Knowledge. That's probably the thing they took. What are we discarding? What are we discarding? They've just seen very many cards deep. Let's look at the top 7 cards. If they didn't find an answer to 1/1s in their top 7 cards, I don't know. They discarded the Condescend. So they had it. They had it the whole time. And we played around it like champions. They also had the Supreme Will. Wormcoil Engine. Okay. Okay. That's kind of beatable if I can resolve a spell. Big if on... Oh, man. Oh, boy. Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So, I think the likelihood that they have the counterspell now is still very high. They discarded Condescend, which I don't think they would have discarded if they didn't have another one. Can I play around Condescend? Not at all. Condescend's just a hard counter that's going to scry 2 at this point in the game. They have so much mana, I cannot play around it. So, what does that mean for me? that means that I think I'm just supposed to cast Kiki. I mean, Kiki Jiki's lethal. If they somehow have nothing here, then I win. I can't cast Putrid Goblin. It gets Chaliced. Yeah. Maybe they just let it resolve and let me go to combat. That would win the game. They're like, okay, this doesn't actually matter. But it would matter. It'd be lethal. Lethal? Okay, so now like a Dismember definitely matters. Huh. No, wait, they can't Dismember. So they definitely can't have Dismember. Repeal would do it. Repeal would definitely do it. But they can't repeal on Skirk Prospector. They could repeal Kiki. But I would fizzle the repeal. I'm just going to go to combat. They might have something, they might not. I'm going to just make them have it. I don't think I can win this game if I don't. Do you has it? Do you has the thing, Gustav Hagelin? Do you has the thing? Yes? No? What's happening? Come on! They make block. Alright, I'm going to sack and add red manas. Lethal you? Lethal you? Did we get there? Did we get there? Come on. Come on. Come on. No, they have thing. Oh, it's thirst. Okay, so they don't necessarily have it. They don't already have it. Okay. Okay, so they have to hit it in their top 3 cards. They have to hit the out in the top 3. Did they hit? Let's go! Let's go! From the clutches of defeat, we found a way! Let's go! Yes! Taste it, Gustav Glynn. Sorry, apologies. Yes! Yes! Oh! What a dub! What a dub! That is how you do it! The Goblins! They're too good! Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh man. The heart palpitations are very real. Wow. That was something. Holy cow, that was something. Unreal. What a dub. You just, oh man, you love to see it. You just love to see it. It looked like we could never win. Opponent just had the thing at every turn, and then we just played perfect. Just on down the line. We just didn't let them use the thing for their condescend. Made them flood and draw only things that didn't affect the board, and then saved the Kiki for the perfect turn. Kiki! Yes! The Kiki beats! They're too strong. Oh, gosh. Whew! All right, this one matters. This is for the 5-0. We're coming in hot with some sweet combo-y goodness. Nick Relativity, you don't got it. You don't got it, bruh. Okay, so this is a turn 3 kill question mark? I think it's a turn 3 kill. Maybe. No, it is. I can sack the Prospector. Okay. So we go turn 1 Prospector, turn 2 Snoop, turn 3 Harbinger. We're on the draw, so that's less ideal. But it is a turn 3 kill, so you don't mulligan that. Just in the hand, it's just a turn 3 kill already. And that's an Eldrazi Temple. Okay, so if you let on that, that's probably not great for me, but maybe we'll be alright. Seems likely Nick Relativity will be able to disrupt my Snoop combo, but maybe they play a Matter Reshaper here and I get to kind of laugh a little bit. You never know. Opponent can always just play the Matter Reshaper and you can just kind of nod your head in like a haha, it didn't matter type of situation. Well, they're not Thought-Knot Searing. It is the Matter Reshaper. Let's go. You'll love to see it. You love to see it. Alright, that's an Aether Vial. That is just way too late. That's fine, though. That is fine. I am going to get green mana. Grumgully is a thing that I should be respecting. We're drawing Hovel, so I don't even need my Prospector to live, which is nice. I have a feeling something's getting broken up here. I have a feeling, but if they play Smasher, that's a GG. Okay, that's a Thought Not Seer. So we don't have the GG anymore, which is unfortunate, but it does seem like Snoop's going to stay in play, so that's good for me. All right, goodbye, Harbinier. Goodbye, sir. All right, so spell after this Hovel would be nice. A Harbin... Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play it. Put that in play. Cast my Prospector. Another Vial. Great. Spectacular. All right. So I think getting the Vial in play is just going to be too important. And honestly, like, I'm fine sacking this thing. It just doesn't really matter. I definitely don't have attacks. Definitely don't have those. But hopefully opponent doesn't have too much going on either. A Karn would be pretty bad here. I wouldn't love to see it. Okay, that's a Karn. So you don't love to see it, especially given I'm drawing Vial. Which is, it's not great. Gonna be okay, Walking Ballista. That's bad for me. That's big bad. Very big bad. So I still don't think I'm blocking. Still don't believe I am blocking. Well, I'm gonna tick this up. Harbinger on top? Harbinger on top? One time Plez? You love to see it. You do, in fact, love to see it. Let's go, Combo Gobos. Combo Gobos! God, you love to see it. It's so good. It's so good. I would be so salty if I was opponent, but here you are. Getting Combo Gobboed. Looked like you couldn't lose. You had the board locked up. You had Karn to lock up all the other things. A Walking Ballista about to straight lock me out of the game. And then your opponent drew the Bogart Harbinger. I didn't even draw it. It just was the top card of my library, and that was enough. Even had my Aether Vial locked out. That just very unfortunate for opponent. But sometimes you get got, and this is one of those times. This is, in fact, one of those times. This is where you get got. So I think this is lethal. They conceded. All right, Nick Relativity. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, post board. We want the Trash Man. Trash Man, get in here. Thoughtseize, probably good. Munitions Expert, also probably good. Prospector, probably not good. I think we cut a Vial last time, and I stand by it, and then I'm going to cut 2 Harbiniers. Yeah, I think 2 Harbiniers is the exact number of Harbiniers you're supposed to cut. Yes. Exactly 2 Harbiniers. Alright, we're on the draw again. We had turn 3 kill last time. That got disrupted, and then we had turn 4 kill, so had to wait an extra turn, but you take it. We're on the draw again here for game 2. We have what I would consider a very mediocre hand. Very, very mediocre indeed. I don't think it's bad, though, necessarily. I just think it's very mediocre. If opponent mulligans... I was going to say, if opponent mulliganed, I would maybe lean towards keeping it, because it actually is pretty good against E-Tron. Just like Thoughtseize and a beater and a beater and a Trash Man. And then just kind of bash, and then just have, like, relevant disruption for a lot of their stuff. You know what? It probably is wrong to keep his hand. I think I'm going to keep it, though. Yeah, this might just be wrong. I think I'm going to keep it, though, and get punished for it. It's not, like, a terrible hand. This is, like, one of those hands where you keep, and then afterwards, like, people yell at you, like, what the heck were you doing? Why would you keep that? And then I look at them and just kind of, I don't know. I click keep, and that's where we're at. But we got a thought squeeze, so we're going to take their... Oh, they don't even have Tron? What is the opponent doing? Why did they keep this? Well, my hand's actually very good against removal. I guess they're like relying on drawing Tron. I just don't really care about these cards. I guess I should just take the Matter Shaper, though. Just stop my opponent from having real plays. If they draw a Tron land, that's kind of a disaster for me, which I assume they're going to draw for turn. Yep, perfect. That makes just so much sense that they would keep a hand that was bad and immediately draw the perfect card they needed. That makes all the sense in the world. So what did we draw? Land. Well, that's not it. And now... now I would imagine we're going to lose very badly to this Ugin that I would have 100%... I probably just should have taken. Realistically, I was thinking in my head, I was like, you know what, if they draw a Tron land, Ugin's probably the take there. Yeah, so... This is an example of getting shafted by the top of the opponent's deck, but that is the weakness of Thoughtseize, so it happens. It definitely happens. You play a Thoughtseize deck, you do something that relies on Thoughtseize, and then you get the shaft. Well, this is flashbacks to opening that box, dude. Hose Town. I am living in the Hose Town. It is my home. They also just have a free Spatial Contortion because this card's really messed up in this deck. No. Just free Spatial Contortion me at any point. So, do I have anything that gets me out of this? The All Is Dust, I think, is too much. I think I made a play hoping opponent wouldn't top deck the exact thing that they top decked there, and they got... I don't want to say they got, like, extraordinarily lucky, but they kind of got extraordinarily lucky, so... Yeah. Okay. So, back on the draw... I think I'm going to cut a Munitions Expert on the play. Less interested in it in the play. I think on the play, I just want to be like a Thoughtseize, Vile, combo them deck. Just not try to go long here. I think that's where we want to go. Okay. This hand is good. You definitely keep this hand. It is like two different pieces of combo, but it's got a Vile and a Thoughtseize with a Snoop. You just aren't mulliganing that hand ever. I also believe I am supposed to get red. Huh. Do I get red black or red green? Red green kind of makes sense. I'm going to vial this in, though. Yeah, this is interesting. I think I'm going to get red-green. I might get really punished for this, but I think I'm going to get red-green. I think that's right. I do it this way because I can play Snoop next turn if I need to. I don't know what it is about opponent just keeping 7 and always having Tron. I'm kind of getting sick of it, if I'm being honest. I don't love it. Oh, but they kept just an actual garbage hand. So their hand like doesn't beat me at all if I take this tome. I definitely can't let them have the tome. The tome's gonna draw them too many cards. So I think this is just totally reasonable. If I draw a land next turn, it needs to be red land, but I don't have any lands in my deck I could draw that don't. They had tower, right? Yeah. So now their hand is. Wait. Why do I know that? Oh, no, it's 6 cards. Okay. So it's 4 lands, Reality Smasher, and 1 card I don't know. Yes. Okay. So I can play Grumgully. Is making my Snoop a 3/3 a big enough reason not to try to get some value? I think the answer to that is no. I think the answer to that is no. Okay. And we got another Snoop. So we did get some value. You'll take it. Ooh. Let's see what they do here. If it involves playing Smasher... So they are smashing, which is fine. I am trying to race, so I'm hoping they don't have like a big follow-up play here. Okay, so I need to stop in my upkeep because I think there's a world here where I tick this up and then I use Grumgully now because I would like to draw land. It's awkward for sure if I don't draw land because then I do 4 damage to Smasher and just don't kill it. I think it's okay, though. I just want to draw a land here. Matron's kind of annoying. Sure. Ooh, Sling-Gang's good, though. What does this do for me? Doesn't really do all that much. I think I'm not supposed to attack here. No. I'm going to attack with my Snoops. Now, if they play... Now I have blocks here that I can make that aren't bad. And I have lethal next turn because of Matron. I actually got really punished for playing this because I had, like, for doing that play in my upkeep because I actually just had lethal that turn. But such is life. So this puts me to 4, which would have me die to a Ballista, which I am not interested in happening. So I am going to double block. And I know 2 cards of their 5. It's a 4/4 Ballista. Well, that's awkward. Sacrifice it to itself, yes. So, alright, they're letting me untap, which is interesting. So, do I want to draw Sling-Gang? I think the answer is yes. Yeah, I think the answer is yes. I'm just not going to be able to combo, so I should just not try to do that. And I'm kind of into just like make a fairer game plan here. This is really unfortunate because I actually just missed lethal by my play of like try to get some value. But I still like where we're at. I think we've played pretty well. Opponent's kind of in the tank here. Interesting. Definitely interesting. I am going to use Aether Vial's ability. I would like to draw the Sling-Gang. Ooh, I get to just cast a Matron. I'll do that. I will, in fact, do that. Ooh, Ringleader. Okay. I don't really... I guess you need a good follow-up for that to be very strong, but it's fine. So opponent's at 15. Is it worth trying to get anything combo related here? I don't think it is. I think I just want to ring lead, honestly, and just start kind of going to town here. That's kind of my read. All right, we got another Sling-Gang and a Kiki-Jiki. So combo's way off the table. That is the case. But we got a full grip of goodness here. And if we draw a land, we just are going to go ham with Sling-Gangs and Kikis. We're getting opponent into drain them out territory too, which it's unclear how much gas they have. They do have Tron, so anything they draw is going to be castable and probably pretty good. Karn, kind of a disaster at all points here. Map for Blast Zone would also be bad for me. It's like the big choke on my hand is mana at this point. Huh. Interesting. I do know that they have 5 cards, though, and one is a Waste and one is a Cavern of Souls. And so now they have 2 cards I don't know about. And it's Karn. God, man. Thing that turns off my hand. Or my vial. So now I'm hoping that what they get here... Okay. So that probably is going to name Vial. Maybe it names Sling-Gang? Sling-Gang would probably make more sense. Okay, it did name Sling-Gang. So I at least get to get Karn off the table here. Which is good. I am not going to take this up, no. Just draw. Okay, so we're going to attack Karn. No, wait. I'm just going to attack them. We need to just bash here. This is the play. I'm going to play a Skirk Prospector. And then I'm going to get Karn off the table. And now if they have a Dismember, it doesn't even keep the Karn for them. I know they have 2 cards in hand, or 3 cards in hand. 2 of them are lands. 1 of them is unknown. So they certainly could have some draws here that are really brutal. But... a map... kind of brutal, I guess. It's not like the end of the world, though, by any means. Yeah, so they're going to get Blast Zone. Blast Zone makes sense. I am definitely going to end step put in the Sling-Gang, though. And this is not about draining. This is just good old-fashioned, we're getting in. So, okay, so we know they have 1 card in their hand I don't know about. Let's say it is Spatial Contortion, and they Spatial Contortion this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I tick this up, I can hit them for 8 and put them to 2. How do I feel about that? I think that's not worth doing. No. So I think the play here... oh, nope, I want to get on my upkeep. That's what I want to do. I'm going to draw. Ooh, Anti-Salvo's good. Yep. I'm going to Matron for... oh, I can get Trash Master here and just kill them, right? Yeah, that is going to be all that was written. I forgot about Trash Man. Here's the Trash Man! Let's go! The 5-0, baby! Alright, that's a trophy. I think we played that excellently. The Trash Man came up clutch that league. Skirk Prospector also mostly bad, but God, that match against Bluetron, man. So good. So good. Whew! Feels good. Feels good. Alright, thanks everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that league as much as I did, because I really... I love playing some Goblins any chance I can get. This deck is gas. Shout out again to Eli Baychan. Really appreciate the list, the heads up on what's happening in Goblin World. So that was cool. This list is definitely sweet, so really appreciate it. And yeah, shout out to all my opponents. Even though like I might have gone a little overboard going ham on the Bluetron player there. I felt like all of my opponents were super courteous, very nice. I really appreciated playing against them. It was just, I mean, it was cool. Yeah, so that was fun. Remember, if you like the content we're making here, want to see more Goblins, please subscribe. Click that subscribe button. Also, heads up, we're doing a giveaway. You can win. We got some sweet stuff from Double Masters. If you want to go rewatch the box opening, it's a foil Lightning Greaves, box topper, foil Atraxa, there's a Brea, there's a Kalia, a Mox Opal, sort of Body and Mind. We're giving away a ton of sweet stuff. All you got to do is click subscribe. It can be yours. So definitely check that out. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. I'll talk to you next time.